Okay.
Okay. Okay. So my name's Hans McCarthy. I'm here with your first name Cecile, right?
Yes.
Cecile Moosomin. Shout out to our sponsor, Nietzsche Auto Glass, for sponsoring this bit. Um, so this is for Nietzsche Auto Glass. Let's go. The episode is powered by Nietzsche Auto Glass, Indigenous owned and operated out of Edmonton. They've got you covered for windshield replacement, rock chip repair, and all auto glass, and they come to you. Okay, they can come to you if you want them to come to you, and they're located in Edmonton. Rock chip repair tent coming soon to Stony Plain Road and 156th Street behind the Lodge Inn pole, or the Lodge Pull In. Well, the Lodge Inn, sorry. Pull up and get fixed up. Fast, reliable for all our people. Nietzsche Auto Glass. So Neechee Auto Glass. They're on Facebook as well too. So shout out to them. Okay. Go ahead, Cecile.
Hello there. Yeah, nice to meet you there, Hans McCarthy. Feel honored that you asked me to come on your podcast. I am from the Mosquito, Grizzly Bear's Head, Lean Man, First Nation.
Yeah.
Three bands in one. Um, I wanted to speak up about some housing issues that we have over here because it's not just, I know this is like a nationwide issue in
Yeah.
within First Nations communities. But when a person is given a house or a place to live here, I believe that they have somewhere a document of possession of certificate, a certificate of possession for that home. And there's always a paper trail for who owns whichever homes or who has those certificates here.
Yeah.
But they lived in an eightplex and this eightplex burned down. So there was 8 units there. My daughter wasn't home gratefully because that house went down like a matchbox.
So your daughter
So
was living inside an eightplex on the reserve.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And her unit burned and with all of those other units. And that was where my grandchildren were living as well too. And she was and is still struggling right now with some addictions that I don't know about.
Yeah.
And all I know is that addictions are the surface of symptoms that we're not dealing with, trauma. And my daughter has those. So she's being judged for that. They replaced those homes. They gave out 8 brand new houses for that. And she was denied her home publicly and told that she had to sober up first before she could get her house.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the people who are living in her home are using something. I know that for sure. I'm not going to say what, but
Okay.
I don't find it fair. I think it's discriminative. And before she even went down the road that she's on right now, I think that the base of a home is a mother and her children. A mother is the backbone of the family.
Yeah.
And if a mother is not happy, how can the kids be happy? And if they take her foundation away, then and deny her that because of her lifestyle, I don't think it makes anything easier or better for her. I think that it traumatizes her more because she was the only one singled out of every one of those people that got homes and told that this was the requirements to get her home back. So my grandchildren were in care because they were displaced from that fire as well too, and everything burned and it
Yeah.
was never replaced. And then I've had meetings with the chief and council here about that, and everything was just word of mouth. So the time of the band manager that was working on these meetings with me and the chief and council, I'm pretty sure that they have a minute taker, right? Like they have somebody who
Well,
records
well,
when they have these
when they have
meetings.
band meetings or meetings with you, they should. I can't answer for all reserves, but I know in Frog Lake when I have meetings with council and stuff like that, they always have a minute taker, and then I request for the minutes, and they give them to me.
So I requested these minutes
Yeah.
from that band manager at that time, and then her response was that there was no minutes ever recorded. There was no documented times that I was ever there to speak to them about these issues. There was nobody who took the minutes for those, and they couldn't find them. I found it unprofessional. I found it discriminative. I kind of find it racist. Um, and then now my daughter is still out there. So I think displacing a family, one person, and then telling her that like, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to make her lead by example or something? Are they trying to force somebody to be sober because of whatever they think of that person, their character? I have so many questions and I'm still not getting any answers. I've
What
requested meetings with them. I've written them emails. I'm still waiting for another meeting again coming up.
okay.
I don't know where these minutes went. So everybody's just playing the duck right now. They don't know anything. So it was like whenever I went there, I just wasted my time kind of thing.
You know what you could do? One of the things you can do is that after you get back from the meeting, you can write about what happened on a meeting and date it and take a picture of the building and stuff like that. You can take your own things. That's what I've done for my activism and a lot of things that I've done. And the reason why I believe I won a house in Frog Lake First Nations is I had 240 pages of documents when I reported them to the Federal Labor Board. And I won against my ban the right of a new house and $25,000 cash. But for doing this for like 10, 15 years, well, 10 years now, it's very important to keep a paper trail, even if you keep the paper trail on these meetings.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to get involved like in your ban because that's your ban and those are your rights.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on.
Yeah.
But another thing as well too I wanted to talk about is that uh, I used to work for a nonprofit housing corporation in Edmonton called Homeward Trust. Maybe some people have heard it. So what they do is that they provide housing for people with addictions and abuse and then substance abuse.
Yeah.
We went off a housing first approach, and what that is that we got some of the best people in the world. They've written books about it to give us a strategy on how do you help people on the street. We don't make them sober up first. They got to have a house first, and then we provide them with the resources they need, like a housing first approach, because we know that the majority of our clients were First Nations people, and my boss was a Métis woman and I'm First Nations. And basically, we went from the housing first approach, and the housing first approach was also used, I believe, in Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, where they virtually took down homelessness down to a virtual 0%, not 100%, but they say it's close enough according to the statistics. But I agree with you when you talk about your daughter having a house. I could send you those links to that housing first approach, or even the
Yeah.
Homeward Trust. If you ask me after the podcast here or tomorrow, whenever you feel about it, I can help you write. I can help you with resources if you need resources to help you do what you need to do. But that's pretty much about what I have to say.
Yeah, so I just feel we feel singled out, man. Like
Yeah,
this is like we're the only family that has to do that. And I'm like I'm with her. Like I'm not just saying she has to do this by herself. I keep my grandkids now because she doesn't have any place to go.
yeah,
And the house that we live in right now has not even been ever fully renovated. Like we have broken vents and they come in and do like these repairs and whatnot. And but it's not a full renovation like I've done houses, I've built foundations, I know what it's like, what it looks like down there in the foundation of this house, right?
yeah,
So there must be like and plus the spot that we live on is kind of like by a slough. So I know that we're still gonna have moisture problems in this place here. And I've had a housing inspector come here and then I talked to the chief about having somebody come, and then when they came and gave me the documents that this house was good to go because they claimed it was condemned when we first moved in. I've been living here for 14 years in this house.
yeah,
And and so when I told them that I had the document, they refused to look at that even though it was from the same band paid company. And she told me that she wanted to have another housing inspector come in. So I seen them today because they had like an elders meeting at our ridge, the ridge. They call this place the ridge over by the Battle River there.
Okay.
And I did have dialogue with her today. But it sounds really nice when somebody tells you like you're gonna get something, right? Like you're gonna get a brand new place. So we were promised that too. I didn't ask for a brand new house, but she said because when my grandchildren come back, that they were gonna be able to have someplace to live. But they didn't have a brand new house. They came back to my house, and then I've been keeping them since like for about 11 months now, and then they were in and out of my life all these years. So the displacement doesn't make anything better. This has disrupted their balance and harmony.
Yeah.
Speaking from somebody who did, I did have an addictions past. I came from a harsh life too. Like I know what it's like to be out there in the streets, and I crawled my way out of that place. Like I barely made it out. I had to live, I wanted to live. So I made my way out somehow. And then when I finally got a home here on my reserve, which wasn't even given to us, um, the person who lived here is actually one of them, MMIW person, became that later, but
Okay.
that Candy Pritchard, my
Yeah.
cousin. Anyway, so she was living here, and then I asked her if I could move in. She left this place, and then she said, yeah. So we took over, and then ever since we moved in, we've been having a really hard time getting things done here, like properly, in the name of children. Children are the future generation. And I've heard them speak, and they've said things like that too. The children are watching. Well, they're watching how you guys are treating us too. They're
Yeah.
watching how with these decisions and how they're impacting us. Because I'm really trying my best right now to not. I don't want to be defamatory. I don't want to describe anybody's character because they don't even know me well enough to say that
Yeah.
I'm this or that. They can only say and know what I tell them, right? And then from there, that was today's dialogue, and I heard that there was going to be a paper of some kind that said, "Okay, this is the agreement that we're making with you. As soon as there's promised 60 houses coming this July," and then she said that the first house that comes out is going to be mine
Oh,
for me and the kids. And then I said, well, you know what? I said, that sounds really good coming off of you're saying it. I said, but I need it on paper
yeah.
because I think a paper is a legal document.
Hmm.
And if there's a problem with the other people who make those decisions, like I'd really like to know what is the problem. And the stigma that I have here, because I've ran 5 elections, I've lost every one of them.
Yeah.
And I don't feel bad about that. It was an experience to have. And then just getting to know into that election system, it was we kind of have I don't know, we have like these suspicions. I don't know what to say, but like that sometimes those elections are rigged.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah.
person who did those elections kind of got put out there and online there, and that one person who did our last
Oh,
the electoral officer, you know who I mean?
I think I know who you're talking about. I don't
No,
wanna,
I'm not going to name anybody. But
yeah,
anyways, that's how people kind of have like these that suspicion, but we don't know for sure, right?
exactly.
And then so being a part of that kind of gave me a little experience about into the politics and how it plays around here. Like the things that we have going on here is supposed to be like this reserve is supposed to be on 24-hour surveillance for drugs and alcohol. The children matter, families first, and but sometimes I don't think they really see who and where these things are happening.
Yeah.
Maybe they're afraid of, drug dealers and, being shot at or being threatened or something like that. But that's what the police are there for, right? Like they're
Yeah.
supposed to help. So if they utilize that, then maybe we would have a cleaner community because this is supposed to be a dry reserve. It's always been, it was declared, it was in one of the band customs that this reserve would always be a dry reserve,
Yeah.
but we'd be otherwise here. And there's people that have really nice, big, beautiful homes. Some of them are living alone. Meanwhile, some of us are just packed and cramped and trying to stay stable and find jobs and be involved in our community somehow. And I don't know where it's going to get us, but we also have the Grizzly Bears Lean Man amalgamation too.
Yeah.
I think and just figured out right now that that unsurrendered land that was supposedly given up by Grizzly Bear's Head and Lean Man, that they broke a treaty. They tried to break a treaty, and I don't believe that they can do that because of that land being sold by an Indian agent. We have documents. I have a couple relatives who have documents that showed me that this place was illegally amalgamated. So there's more than plenty of land. There's more than plenty of place to put everyone. And the land that we have back there, like I've seen all the markers I was showed by the elders where these places are and how many acres there are and where these numbers are and what they mean. In these markers, there was supposed to be maps, and some of the markers got moved. So I'm going into another subject, but it kind of comes into this because
No,
I'm
that's
um I'm activating I'm an activist for that. I don't like that I feel that there was something that fraudulent that happened here. I believe that.
yeah,
Back in 1905 to be approximate. So those documents have to have weight somewhere, and we have tried to put them forward. And if it ever did work out, I'd feel better if we were able to move back to our land. Because I'm a direct descendant of that grizzly bear's head. My great grandfather is one of his sons.
well,
So we're in that lineage.
uh so Grizzly Bear Head and Lean Man, were those Nakota reserves?
We're Nakota.
You're Nakota, okay. And then
Yeah.
Mosquito was Cree, weren't they?
Mosquito is Nakota. But
Nakota.
I'm not really sure too much on that history for Mosquito, but I
Okay.
know for sure that we have done our research and we're hiring a historian. I don't think because there's a difference between being illegally amalgamated and separated.
Yeah.
So a separation is like we're asking the band to let us go and be our own band.
Yeah.
But illegal amalgamation is trying to get the attention of the federal government, Canadian Supreme Court, to see that there was something that happened here that wasn't right. But they paid out money and these guys took it. And I went on the news too before they got that. And then I asked questions. I took them to the massacre site in
Yeah.
Battleford there. And then I just explained, these people were hung for no reason at all. And women and children were forced to watch just to instill fear that they would never rebel against the Redcoats ever again.
Well, that really does play into you talk about housing and stuff like that, and then you talk about three bands that were amalgamated up there, and the same thing that happens out in Alberta. I only know a few, but I was doing research. One of them, my friend Austin Erminskin, he's a direct descendant of a guy named Bobtail. He had a reserve out here. He signed a amalgamation to well, not an amalgamation, but he signed part of Treaty 6 a little bit later, and his reserve was it was basically surveyed. It was supposed to be 31 and a half miles, but due to some certain things, another band, Little Bears people came up in Montana. The federal government gave them Bobtails Reserve, but they only gave them 10.1 miles of it. And that was in 1909. And the other 20 some square miles were given to farmers and white farmers. And I'm going to be talking to an elder on Saturday that's a direct descendant of Bobtail about that. But I also get along with the chief of Papa's Chase. I don't know if you ever heard of Papa's Chase Reserve.
No, this is the
Okay,
first
and
time.
southern Edmonton, that's all supposed to be Papa's Chase's land. He's the chief of that land. They're recognized by the AFN, but they're not recognized by the federal government yet. They did have a store donated to them, but there's also the Michelle band and over there, and then there's quite a few bands in Alberta here that are supposed to come about, but they weren't, and there was a lot of illegal land centers like what you're talking about. And that's a very big subject, and it's something I don't want to dig into. And I believe that people deserve their land back, and they deserve compensation for that as well too, because a lot of bands are getting like Frog Lake and Cold Lake, where we're getting the Haylands case. That's going to be close to a $500 million settlement, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's these big settlements that are happening right now, and it's all across, cows and plows and all kinds of things. Our band got 187 million. But yeah, it's a subject that I'm really into, and I thank you for really bringing that up. And a lot of people are really interested in what you're talking about, especially housing and talking about illegal amalgamation and hangings and stuff that should never happen.
Yeah, we went through a lot of trauma here. And then every time I meet new people in town, I have to let them know a little bit about the education of why this place is even called Battle Ford, because there was a big battle ford. It was a battle. There was like a massacre. We're fighting for our lives here.
Yeah,
So, with the history that the elders shared with me as I was just going on my way too, just some kind of person here. I'm not really that smart. But they just shared these knowledges with me, and I really appreciated that, because it means something. They don't just talk about things like that and then pass them on, and then, for them not to be spoken about again. They should be unsilenced like this podcast. It means something.
yeah,
And having these documents as well too to prove that there was something that illegal happened here. And we're
yeah,
not after our chief and council. I just want to point that out. Like we're not trying to fight them.
yeah,
But they take it like that.
yeah,
Maybe they look at it like that, like we're trying to be negative about something. It's not. We want the government's attention. We want to be recognized again as our own reservation. There is people who have birth certificates that say there is a Grizzly Bear's Head land.
yeah,
And his name wasn't Grizzly Bear's Head. They put Grizzly in front just to make him sound like a fierce person. He wasn't.
yeah. Okay.
And we also migrated from the south. We're not really from this area. We're just a small band, a Nakota people in this one area here. So when they first started out, I heard what the elders said. There was only 85 people,
Yeah,
but they didn't say like give up that land because the way I know elders, they "Pagijeta, wow, no, no ski." They really, really have that real great respect and compassion and love for this land. And they don't claim it as their own. We're borrowing it. Anything that's here, we're borrowing from the future. So
yeah,
if it was, I think they had the same mind frame. I don't think that they said, okay, yeah, go ahead, sell it out, we have to eat. They were hunters. They were nomads. We were nomads. We are. We're still here. We're still gonna speak about it until the righteous thing is done about it.
yeah,
We can't give up. And something like that, like I don't know, is what sometimes referenced to as a can of worms. We open that.
yeah.
So
No,
we're
that's
not against our chief and council at all. It's not that. It would be nice if they could help us and work with us, but they have other plans for whatever settlements that they got because of GBH
uh,
and Lean Man. There's more other lands too, like Cypress Hills, and places like that where they were pushed out and moved up here. And this is as far as they push us. So the area that we live in North Battleford and Battleford, is surrounded by 7 bands. There's 94 recognized bands, 94 First Nations now. There was 92 before.
is that in
So
Saskatchewan?
yeah, in
Okay.
Saskatchewan alone. And then
Yeah,
those statistics about kids being apprehended, it's really high here. It's like 87%. That's a high number of kids to be taken away from homes. That's another form of legal kidnapping. Yeah, but I guess there's reasons for that. I can't really go into anybody else's personal story, but myself, I had to fight. I fought for my family.
yeah,
So, I'm not here to defame anybody. I'm not here to try and make anybody feel bad. I just want to get to the point, like basic human rights shouldn't be violated just because of how a person chooses to heal themselves.
yeah,
And nobody judges them when they're out there having a good time, flying around, going to conferences all over the world. Nobody says anything to them. We're like, okay, they're making things happen, you know. They're healing themselves also in that form.
Yeah.
But discriminating and putting people down, somebody coming from experience of that way of life, like that never helped.
Yeah.
It's not going to help anybody. If you know, they already know that they have these issues, you can't just put it in their face and say, okay, this is the ultimatum. They're not creating a relationship with that person, that band member. They're just making that person a spectacle. And if they want to lead by example, let's have a rehab center here. Let's have a healing lodge. Let's have something
Yeah.
for people like her to go to.
Yeah.
Let's have resources for them. You know, let's have more compassion. Don't have stigma when we walk in a band office or you see us just because you know we're carrying that hurt. It's a hurt. It's not anger. Anger is the most misunderstood emotion, and it comes from a place of hurt. So yeah, we are hurt. We're hurt, but not angry. I'm fighting and speaking for the unspoken, and that's my children and any other families who've ever been going through this in any other First Nations. I have broken English too because I speak Cree. Oh yeah, my grandma's from Frog Lake.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah,
Who's your grandma?
my late grandmother's name was Susan Stanley.
Susan Stanley.
Yeah,
I don't know her. Maybe she's around before my time, but I get along with a lot of Stanleys. They're a real big family. Real big
yeah,
family. They're the original descendants of Onipo Hills. They're the ones that signed treaty for the area. So yeah.
yeah. My aunt was telling me that they're the Eagle people.
I'm not
She put it in that
I
context
don't
of
know the history.
something.
I just know that Ernest Stanley, he gets along with my dad. He's the Treaty 6 bundle holder, and the previous chief George. I get along with him. He's my bro, and that's
Then that was my aunt who went out on the news there, Doris Stanley, for that
oh, Doris.
first time we were
I get along
speaking
with
about
Doris.
this.
Doris
That's
comes
my
visit
auntie.
sometimes. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Doris, she really speaks her mind.
Yeah.
She's a good person. But we're
It's not
running.
an easy road. It's not an easy road. That's all I'm saying. And we're not going to give up.
No, no, no. You got you speak really well. You got a lot of passion and stuff like that, and a lot of heart, and people can really relate to what you're talking about. A lot of us, and we're running out of time here. We have,
Mm-hmm.
but I just really like to thank you for coming on the podcast. And if you're up to it, maybe in the future, we would like you to come back on and talk more about the one that I'm really interested in is the history of your guys' band, and you talk about the amalgamation. That's something that I know a lot of people from your area really want to know about. And not only that, I've had many people reach out and they similar across Canada to how their band's story happened, and some people that don't even have a band, and some people that are going with a new band. Even out here, there's a band called Small Boys. They're Ermineskin, but Chief Small Boy took them up to the mountains and they made their own band there because he predicted in the future that there would be a lot of alcohol and drugs. And my wife's Muslim, Joe Roan, she's their family is originally from Sweetgrass, late
Mm-hmm.
Lily Chicken and them. They're from
Yeah.
Sweetgrass, but my mother-in-law married into Samson band over here, and so did Lily. Lily Roan. Now she married I forget his name, Joe Roan, and he was from Small Boys Camp, and that's where I stay in Pigeon Lake now. We stay in the place here. But I
Yeah.
just like to thank you for your words. I'm gonna end the recording now. Any last words or anything like that?
We aren't going to give up. That's it. And I don't think anyone should ever, if they're fighting for something that's right, keep going because there's some things good is going to hear us. We're going to succeed in some way. Don't ever give up. Guy wigas bakchiak. Hagamemok.
Aha. Tapoy miyasin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Examaga kakyo.
Oh, I hope.
So I'm gonna leave the meeting now. I'll
Okay.
message you on Facebook. We'll talk. We'll continue our conversation. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank
Have a
you.
good
Thank
evening.
you so much, Hans. Yeah.